But I think what I'd like to do is to do like a mock interview basically with the two of you and me, and we will go over the same problem, but we will do like a live coding version of it. And I'll ask you both to walk me through like what you would think and why you would like go in a certain direction, what you would notice. How does that sound?
Sure. Yeah.
Sounds good. Do you want to work? Sorry, was it Karthik? Are you the person who started it and you were working with? I think you were talking about like getting stuck on Room.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Do you want to work off of your solution so far, or do you want to start a new one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll show like what I have so far. What I've done so far. So based on that, we'll take a call, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Do you mind sharing your?
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Perfect. Thank you.
Screen. I think I don't have an option right now. It doesn't show up for me. Maybe I have to be enabled again to share the screen, I guess.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. It looks like only panelists can share. I will maybe just make you a panelist.
Yeah, so I'll like quickly explain what I have. So basically,
actually, is it okay if I ask Krishna to walk us through your code to like explore it?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I think this is a really valuable skill, like being able to practice reading other people's code and explaining it, like under live like interview.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can give it a shot. Let's see. So, okay. So this is the main activity. Looks like from imports, Retrofit is being used to do the web API calls, I assume. So then, so you got, let's see, you have your on create, your layout is activity main, and then your, so define view by IDs are being done to lay out the different parts of the UI here. And
cool. Sorry, so I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that you are interviewing with Karthik, and he just opened this project and asked you like how you would orient yourself. So I think it makes sense like to read the code as you are, but maybe you can zoom out and talk us through like what your like where you would start. If he did or didn't, if he didn't have anything open already, or like the assumptions you're making by reading what he does have open. Just
consuming. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So what I do is I probably start the manifest XML. I probably go to the manifest first, and then.
Well, can you ask Karthik to do that?
Yeah, Karthik could do it. Yeah, Android manifest XML. Yeah. So here it looks like okay. So yeah, a single activity.
And then can you explain what it is? Like, why would you go to the Android Met? Actually, Karthik, can you chime in here? If you were the one who was in Krishna's seat, why do you think he's going to the manifest? I know it's like a basic question, but I think it's still really valuable to walk the interviewer through like all the assumptions you're making.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, so do you want to question him or like to chime in and answer like sort of like?
I would like you to tell me why you think Krishna asked to open the manifest.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, getting into the manifest will get a good whole. I mean, at least a holistic view of like how many activities we have and what is the startup activity. To go with that. And also because this is a weather app, we just need to make sure like if we have the required permissions and such mentioned in the manifest.
Why would you need permissions? Just because it's a weather app? What's the assumption?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so because we are calling the weather API, the open weather API. So in this app, I've used Retrofit, so I'll just mention that we would use at least one of the HTTP client libraries. So in order to make that call over the internet, so we need that permission from the app for that.
Okay. Krishna, was there anything else that you would add to like why you would start here?
Yeah, I think Karthik kind of covered it, but yeah, I would come here to look at the permissions that we need for the app to get going. I'd also look at what components are there besides activities. You could have like services. You could also be, you could have broadcast receivers. So it just gives like it kind of gives a layout of the land. So you just kind of know what you're dealing with when you before diving into the source code right away.
If you had to think of an Android application as some kind of data structure with like application, activity, service, broadcast, receiver, fragments, views, how would you think of it?
For me, yeah, so I would think of it as application kind of as the parent, and then the components like the activity, services, broadcast receivers, they would all be one level below, and then the fragments would live. Oh, okay, well, the fragments could live within the activity, or it could be its own. Oh yeah, actually, never mind. The fragments would live within the activity, and then the fragments could have fragments within them. It's kind of like a nested relationship.
Karthik, is there anything you would add?
I think that that's the list I can think of also. Yeah, I mean, with application as such, okay, so of course we need context, application context for everything in the app. So at least in yeah, thinking about the data structure, like finding it, I don't know, like little difficult to like visualize that particular part.
Sure. I would think of it as a tree. You could think of it as a graph, but I would think of it more specifically as a tree. You will always have an application to host your process, and then you always have at least one activity to like display any UI if you have UI, and to like execute tasks, right? And then you may or may not have fragments. You may or may not have like view models or other like components, broadcast receivers or services. But as far as I know, even like with like a home screen launcher, you will have like an application and an activity.
Right.
And so you can think of the application, like you were saying, Karthik, like you probably want the application context to do some things. And so you can think of it as like the parent or the root of your tree.
The root. Oh, the root of tree. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
Sweet. So thanks for indulging me here with the manifest. What would you go to next?
Me, I'd probably look at the build algorithm just to kind of see, at least at the project module levels, just to see like what libraries we're dealing with. Like, so I'd see the retrofit here probably. I would see, yeah, material constraint layout. So that'd give me an idea of kind of, what I could look forward to in the source code. Yes, I would look here, and then, yeah, that'd be my next step.
Cool. I don't have any comments here. And then what would you do next?
I'd probably just I'd start with activity, like we were looking at right now. I'd just go to mainActivity.kt. So I'd go here. I look at the onCreate. It's just laying out the UI. And there's a on-click listener, get weather data, which is right below. So I'd start looking at get weather data. And that's where it kind of looks like an API call is being made with the retrofit. So I'd look at that. Then I'd probably dive into, actually, can you scroll down Coptic a little bit?
Sure.
And get weather data just to see. Yeah, so this is one whole function. So I think probably at this point, I would dive into the retrofit code. So that would be in, so probably, I guess, API client. This creates the singleton instance, builds the retrofit. Okay, base URL. And then I'd go to the interface, I guess, the my API endpoint interface that would give all the queries. Call get weather by city. So you have one get call. Okay, so that makes sense. Weather services. So this guy is empty. Okay.
I think I don't have anything on this, but
yeah.
So in the activity again, yeah.
And then now I guess, so your retrofit calls would then bring back data, and then you're working on getting it into room, I assume. That's what you're doing probably. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Get weather by city. What does get weather by city look like? Is that
actually I should have passed
testing. Okay.
Yeah. So one thing is like I'll do additionally is just to go to the activity like layout just to get a glimpse of like what all we have. I mean
that's true.
Give a quick idea as to like how the would give a little more info to go through the code as to like what all we have, and like based on that, if there are any like listeners on any of the UI elements, and then that's a very minor thing, but I just wanted to add that. So my idea initially, at least with the the assignment problem was that we need to like enter a city name, and then we'll have to get the lat long based on that. But since I was just getting it to work, so I just hard coded it here, just the lat long of a specific location, and I just wanted to like get the result and display it in the app. So I mean, at least for here, it is just a hard coded value for lat long. So what it does is basically, for now, I can show this. Yeah, so on click of weather info, we get the details. So basically, we get the minute for the next 60 minutes, and then the precipitation values. So those are the only two values that I'm displaying right now, but that we get from the service. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry, just to give you an idea of what all we have in the app.
Cool. And then do you have the detail view for the minutely weather?
No, I don't have that yet actually. So basically, I just got the data and I was just trying to get the configuration thing handled, but yeah, it just went in loop there. So
Wait, sorry, you went in a loop there?
no, meaning in the room database thing. So I got
I
stuck
see.
there and I couldn't proceed further. So.
Cool. I think so we don't get stuck in like room configuration land. Let's just do the second screen, like the detail screen.
Sure. Okay.
Is there anything that is going to get stuck? And like I guess it's not crashing, but
Yeah,
is there anything that you need to like comment out, or is it like in a like reasonable working state?
just click it. It'll get the details for this particular location. So that is working for now. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I guess maybe since Krishna has been doing some exploration, maybe Karthik, you could talk us through what you would do next in like this APS. If the prompt is a user should be able to scroll to a specific minute, click on it, and see a second page with the hourly temperature for that minute.
Right. So basically, I have a adapter for this. Sorry, in the recycler view. Sorry, let me go there.
Maybe before you take us there, you can give like a very high level statement of like we would need to like find this to do this, and then we would do that with it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, the entire list of data is displayed in the recycler view. So in the recycler view, probably we should go to that particular item, and then we need to have a click listener. So based on that particular click listener, we navigate to the next activity, which will have the details. But as a intent, we have to pass. I think that the date information or the epoch value in the intent like bundle, like the string. And once we get that, and then the new activity, so we can get that particular value, and then right now I only have one service call, so which just gives this value. So I may need to adjust to see like what we have, or we may have to do another service call to get the additional details.
Krishna, is there anything you would add or that you would do to clarify the next steps?
Want to become a software engineer at Google? You can, like thousands of our students. You just need to learn from those who've already cleared FANG interviews. At Interview Kickstart, our interview prep courses are developed and taught live by 150 plus instructors from Tier 1 companies like Google and Facebook. Our courses are tailored to help you crack software engineering domain interviews including back-end, full stack, machine learning, embedded systems, data science, and more. To learn more, book your free webinar slot today